Welcome back, Jacob.
Hey, Josh.
Thanks for meeting with me. Okay, so last time we talked about your adolescence and what that was like. Tell me some more about your bullying experiences.
Bullying experiences?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember from last time. Did we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
And
how you overcame them.
So I'm trying to think. In high school, I didn't really experience too much bullying. There was a time when I'll talk about this. So in my junior year in high school, as long back as that was, I participated in a thing. It was like basically my school did like a state conference for one of their clubs called Beta Club, and I actually ran for an office position there. And one of the big things with it is you had to come up with a speech that was so many minutes long. And I actually chose to talk about my faith during it, and I talked about the Lord a lot for a good portion of it. And needless to say, I did lose the election. And I'm like, just to give some context, it was this contest was a pretty big thing. Stars Mill, which is the high school I went to, they hadn't sent somebody as a delegate there for a very long time, and so obviously there's a lot riding on it. But a lot of people were really hoping that I was going to win, and it failed. And so the weeks after that, there were some people, one person in particular I'm thinking about, who pretty much blamed the topic of my speech and why I lost. And I was really like the things he would say would be stuff like, Jacob, if you hadn't talked about God of all things, you would have won. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, literally, I was pretty much as public. It was pretty rough. It really was. And it sounds like in the grand scheme of like when you think about like the persecution that's going on, in the church and other places, in the grand scheme of things, it's really minute, I guess. What I was experiencing, but at the time for a high schooler or a junior in high school, it's rough. You don't want to hear it. So that was a tough time. It really was, and I was pretty upset. I mean, I had lost obviously, and I had put a lot of effort and work into it in the months leading up, preparing for that, and to have that to be the response and the end result of my labor was kind of rough. I'll be honest. So.
Okay. What do you have any other bullying experiences?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, there's times that I would have rough moments with my friends. We would get on each other's nerves. I wouldn't say that's bullying, though. I think that's just high school boys or college boys, being boys. So
Yeah.
I think that especially when you're around people for a long period of time, it's a lot easier to have moments where you're on top of each other and you're poking at each other. But I do believe that is preparing you for when you grow up and when you have a family of your own. And I mean, families, they get mad at each other. They're also living in the same space and they're always on top of each other. And so I don't know. But like I said, I wouldn't say that it's bullying. So I don't think I have any others. If you want to know how I kind of persevered from that one example that I mentioned, like I said, it was tough, and I prayed a lot during that time. I was just like, well, Lord, this kind of just sucks, But I don't know. I think that with a lot of things, the Lord throws challenges your way because He's refining you, and I think that was just one of many steps in the journey, So not to get philosophical or too broad.
Oh.